Hello there, hi, and welcome to another episode of Creatives on the Couch. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you.
It's very nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Well, on today's episode, we have got the best-selling author, Shane Senior. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
No, it's good. Thank you for having me.
You're looking all rugged and... Loving the jacket.
I'm loving
Thank
the
you.
teeth. Look at them.
Teeth. Got
Pearly
the
white.
full Hollywood smile, haven't you?
Oh my days.
Beautiful.
Tipex. That's what I have to use. Nice to see you, sir.
Yeah, nice to see you both.
What we're going to do is we're going to take you right the way back through your life, really, and delve down and see what
Sounds
makes
good.
you tick and, you know, find out your story. That's what our viewing figures, they like to hear,
Yeah.
you know, all
Sounds
about
good.
you. So let's go right the way back to the beginning. Take us back to your childhood. You know, what was that like for you? Where were you based and everything like that?
Based in Shrewsbury, Shropshire, West Midlands. Childhood, yeah, very good. Two very nice, loving parents. So
Okay.
nothing to grumble with there. But I think, you know, when I was probably a youngish kid, I was probably a bit of a bully at school. And then, you know, I think when you get to secondary school, I matured a little bit, and then a lot of that stopped. And the main reason was because I was training to go in the Royal Marines. So that sort of matured me because I had goals and ambitions, and I was doing more fitness orientated stuff, whereas, you know, a lot of my mates were going out drinking and smoking and all that sort of stuff, whereas I was kind of matured, you know. So yeah, my whole mentality and philosophy over the cruel side of things, you know, kind of changed really.
So you were a bully.
Not like really bad, you know. I was not the worst in the school, but I was not the best neither. You know, it was kind of like, yeah, you know, name calling, you know, the usual stereotypical type things that a lot of kids do.
Thug.
And then, yeah, and then like I say, that slowly changed once I went to secondary school. Really.
Wow. And so you always wanted to go into the Marines. Was that always?
I think
your
I
thing?
joined the Army Cadets at 13, and so I progressed through there for a good sort of 3 years, became a sergeant, and that was really where that sort of dream come from. Of course, as you get to sort of 14, 15, you're really thinking about what am I going to do in my career, where am I going to go with this, you know. And before I went through all the selection training and before I passed everything, I was scheduled to go to college, and I went to college for a month, and that was to study sports and the anatomy and everything. And literally after a month, I was just like, what am I doing here? This is just like school. Like, I hate this. And because I'd already passed all of my training, I was just like, right, just put me in now. Let's just go and do it now. And that was that, really.
So how long were you in it for?
Literally just under a year.
Right.
So just went through basic training. We were due to go to Afghanistan literally within about a week. So it was one of those where luckily, because I was under 18, you can leave with 2 weeks notice. Whereas once you've passed that 18-year-old sort of category, you're stuck for 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the term that you've got to do.
Right.
So it was one of those decisions like, right, do I really want to be going for 6 months to Afghanistan? You know, when I'm 17 years old, I think I was at the time.
Okay.
It was just one of those things where reality kind of kicked in of like, this is what I've always wanted to do, but now I'm there. Do I really want to be going? You know, and you're hearing already on the news about how bad it is, people dying left, right and centre. So it's a bit like, yeah, that was my reality check really. So,
Well, I
and
think
then I
that's
decided to
nice
make
at
that
times, isn't it? You know, we all go through reality checks,
Of
don't
course
we?
we do, yeah.
So, I mean, if you'd have gone over that, you would have been in for the
duration.
full duration.
Yeah, and a lot of the guys that I went through training with did pass away as soon as they
Wow.
got there. So
Seriously?
so it's one of those
Gosh.
things where when you look at it, you think
You made the right
that
choice.
could have been me, you know. So I might not have had my kids, and so I could have been in a totally different position if I would have continued and stuck it out for the long term, you know.
Wow. So when you finished, you know, just after that amount of time, what came next?
So I was with a partner at the time. She became pregnant with our first child, which is a boy called Leo. That was my first child. Career-wise, I kind of went then into sales. So I worked for a company called Juice Unlimited, and became a sales manager within their branch, customer service related, all that sort of stuff. Even a bit of like forklift driving, you know, kind of a little bit of everything really.
Yeah, new dad, you know,
Yeah,
pay the bills.
just
kind
do
of
everything you
thing.
can to pay
Yeah.
the bills. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
So when did you get into the book writing then?
So that
What
happened. That happened probably around 2018.
Okay. Oh, recently then.
Yeah, that was because basically I had a business doing law enforcement for the magistrates court. So
Okay.
that was doing like bailiffing, which was very successful, earned a lot of money. Ended up putting those funds into some investments on the cryptocurrency market. And unfortunately,
What have you not done?
That all confuses me. That I have no idea.
well, let's not get started.
Yeah.
Because if I would have left my money where it was on Bitcoin and Ethereum, then I'd be sitting here with millions in my
Yes.
bank today.
You'd own this studio.
Yes, good chance, yeah. But unfortunately, I changed them from Bitcoin and Ethereum to what's called altcoins. And altcoins were like coins within the market. So let's just say you wanted to set up a new company.
Okay.
You divide your company into coins, basically. So if you were, say, a production company, they could be called, pro coins, right? And then let's just say your business is worth 10 million. You can divide it depending on how many tokens you want for X amount. So you could have 100 million tokens and they'd have a value of, say, 10 pence each. And you do it like that, and then you buy so many, and that's it's a bit like stocks and shares on the IPO market, but it was on the ICO market.
We're just TV hosts.
Yeah, I got a clue what you're talking about there.
So ended up losing that. That went down the pan.
You lost it all.
Lost everything.
Oh,
I invested in
wow.
about 15 companies, all scammed a lot.
my.
Were all scam artists. And I think the
Stop
problem
it.
was 2017 was when the big boom happened. And a lot of people were making huge amounts of money, like overnight.
Yeah.
Like you could put, say, 50 grand down and it was doing like 100 times the profit within less than a month. So within a month, people were earning like 5 million off 50 grand. And this was 2017. So, of course, I saw that and I thought, why do I want to wait 10 years for Bitcoin to boom? Which, even though I knew it would,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, do I really want to wait that long when I can have the money now? As you do, you learn because you get greedy and you get carried away. And then put it on the altcoins. And then they just ended up being companies and corporations that ended up just disappearing. Whether they went to the Bahamas with your money, I
With
don't
your
know.
money.
Just disappeared.
what a
With
shame.
they had millions off other people as well. Like just companies just went under, disappeared, and of course they've kept all the investors' funds basically. So from
Did you know any of this goes on? Because
Never heard of that. I've heard of Bitcoin.
I've heard, I did, but I didn't even think that was real. I thought it was like Monopoly or something. Yes. Wow.
yeah, no, it's a big thing, and you might have seen last year like Bitcoins went up to about £40,000 each. And I was buying them at probably about £4,000, so you can
Even
imagine.
that's a lot,
So that's
though.
still 10 times your profit again. So if you put, say, 100 grand down, that's $1 million just from 100 grand. So, which the position I was in, if I would have kept it, I would have been sitting on a nice pot right now. But unfortunately, I put them in
Oh my
the
dear.
wrong place.
It wasn't meant
basically.
Yeah.
to be.
Again, it was
It wasn't
your
meant
journey.
to be. Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't meant to be my journey, and I learned a lot of lessons from that. It makes you stronger.
Why don't you write
wiser.
a book about it? Or did you?
No, so I didn't really cover that within the book. I want to do an autobiography once I'm become more established as an actor.
Yeah.
That was something I was going to do at the time, rather than writing this book, Positive Thoughts, Positive Outcomes. I was going to do an autobiography, but I'm kind of waiting for the right moment for that.
Sure.
Because I think once you're a little bit more established, it's a lot easier to sell the copies than
Sure,
it is
yeah.
when nobody really knows who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about this book then. Where's the inspiration come from? What's it about?
So before I even got to the book, I actually became a public speaker.
Right.
So I was doing
Wow.
public
Oh, okay.
speaking about the journey that I went through,
Yeah.
more motivational speaking, trying to inspire people. If you do go through a similar situation what I've been through, how to overcome those problems and not put yourself in the ground, basically, because similar situations, a lot of people could have ended up very suicidal from that.
We've all had those thoughts.
When you're in a
Seriously.
position where you can go and buy what you want, to then all of a sudden, well, now I'm counting my pennies. Life takes a total different change.
Yeah.
So it's really one of those where
So, I mean, everyone has, people get things thrown at them constantly, regarding, pressures in life, and have, suicidal thoughts, or they'll think, they want to do something, and then they turn to, friends and support networks that they've got around them. We all go into those dark places at times. So is that kind of what this is about, showing that there is a way out of this darkness? Is that kind of what it's about?
yes, partly, and then it's all about really how to become a better version of yourself, and
Okay.
how to enhance your personal state as well as your career.
Okay.
Because the 14 principles are kind of what I learned when I went through my spiritual transformation.
Okay.
Which before I met my wife, I didn't really know anything about law of attraction and things like that. She sort of introduced me to it.
The secret.
Yes, yes, that's it. And it's very similar to that sort of style because there's things like gratitude, affirmations, meditation, law of attraction. So it kind of covers a load of those topics, but it's been wrote in a way that if somebody that's slightly less intelligent, let's just say, picks up the book, they can understand it. Because some of these law of attraction books are so complicated, and they use very long words, and some people just pick it up and they're baffled.
It's a bit daunting, isn't
exactly.
it? Yes. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I mean, you've done the law of attraction, haven't you, for stuff and everything?
Yeah,
you know, you put it out there. You know, we talk quite a lot about putting it out there and throwing it out to the universe and stuff like that. So, is that what you really believe in now? Obviously, you said you've had a spiritual awakening. So is that where you sit now?
100%. And it's one of those things where I think a lot of people get lost because they think that stuff manifests instantly. They think, oh, I go and try this, and 1 month later I'm going to be rich. It doesn't quite work like that. You know, you will have some instances where you can test it, and things can happen very quick. I've seen it and tried it, and that's why I was like, oh, actually, this does work.
Right.
And then other things, whether your ambitions are to be, you know, an Oscar-winning actor, let's just say, you know, those things take a little bit more time. You know, you're not going to go
and a little bit of talent as well.
Yeah, you're not going to go from zero to hero overnight. So
I think it's really important, patience. Because I think when it comes to manifestation, you're right, people think it's going to happen overnight. And for me, there were certain things that happened. I'm like, I thought about this 10 years ago. You know,
really?
Yeah, it's not an overnight thing.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think a book like this is really important, you know, because if it teaches patience as well, and if you break down the fact that it's not something that can happen overnight, because you can easily fall off, can't you? You read certain
100%.
books and you think, oh, it's not going to work, but it is all about patience and it's all about timing. Nothing happens before it's time.
And everything happens for a reason.
100%.
Do you believe in that?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm getting to that at the moment. Seriously.
Yeah.
Get into that, yeah. I've always been so, you know, ka-ting.
Yeah.
That's the way my life has always been, you know.
Yeah.
I've always been full throttle, you know, charging through and everything like that. But now I'm starting to sit back a little bit, sort of fold my arms and think, okay, which way do we go now? Left or right?
That's
Crossroads.
right, yeah.
Do I go that way or do I go that way? And so I'm starting to feel calmer in myself now. You know, cleared all the junk out of my bedroom and stuff like that. And I've got Buddhas now, and it's like a retreat now. It's like, you know, I just sit there, and, you know, and just think.
Yeah, and I think it's
Breathe.
important to realise everything happens for a reason, but you might never find out what that reason is. Just trust the process.
Well, exactly, and that's how we ended up on the next part of the journey, which was becoming an actor. Again,
Was that something you'd always wanted to do, or?
no.
Right,
Again,
okay.
that was one of those things that I just sort of fell on by accident. You know, as a kid, I used to hate theatre and drama at school. It was never really anything that I got involved with.
Now, I know Shane is a fabulous actor because we've actually worked together, haven't we?
Have you?
We
We
have indeed,
have.
yes.
So
On what? When? How?
it was it last year or the year before?
Something like that,
We
yeah.
did a
Is it
little
within the last year or two, wasn't it?
It was Hostage Negotiator, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like a showreel
Okay.
workshop that we did.
Yeah, that's right.
Amazing. So it's great to have you here today. I didn't even know you wrote books, to be honest.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's good.
So let's get into the acting then. So you didn't plan to get into acting. So have you not been doing it very long? I'm quite surprised, actually, because you are phenomenal. When we were on set, you really helped me, you know, learn my lines. And you were just so convincing. So how long have you been doing acting, and how did you fall into it if it wasn't planned? How did that happen?
Yeah, so it kind of came really once the book journey had begun, really. It was around that same sort of time. So I've been doing it now roughly about 4 years, I would say. And it was one of those where I literally just came across a short film advertising on Facebook.
Right.
And I saw it and thought, you know what, I kind of just fancy giving that a go, because I thought public speaking is practically acting, because it's the same thing. You've got to learn dialogue, you've got to understand people, and you've got to have a good stage presence. So I thought, you know what, I could do this. And just thought I'd give it a go. Did a couple of short films and student films to start with, and that was it. And I really enjoyed it and thought, you know what, I can really see this going further, and decided to continue to pursue it, learn new skill sets, and take it from one thing to the next, really.
Wow. So where's the journey taken you then recently? What have you been doing, and how are you progressing?
So I'm an actor stuntman, motion capture performer, and voiceover artist. So
Stop it.
I cover a lot of the topics within the industry. So I do like motion capture for computer games as well, voiceovers for computer games, as well as doing stunts for various films.
What sort of stunts? Did you know we did stunts?
I did, because you've got a video on your Instagram.
Yes.
When you're running and you kind of fall back onto
That was the Wireworks
That
one,
was
I think.
brilliant.
Yes,
Yeah.
So it's one of those where the stunt industry is quite a funny one to get into because you have people what's called the stunt register. The British have we're the only one to have it. The UK have what's called a stunt register, and to get on there, it's a very strict process. You've got to pass a lot of criteria. And on average, it takes about 5 years, and it will cost you about £50,000. So it's a long process if you want to be on the register.
Yep.
But that's generally for people that predominantly want to do just stunts. Whereas if you're an actor that can also do stunts because you've trained in it with various companies, then it's more the case of if you're, say, an action actor, you know, someone like, say, Dwayne Johnson or somebody like that, look, you can put me as the lead role, and I can also do fight sequences. I can fire weapons because, of course, I've got military experience with weapons. And then again, things like Wireworks, which, as you said there about the show reel, which again is things that you'll see in a lot of the films like Marvel are very big for using Wireworks, and even films with again explosives and stuff where you see people go flying backwards. That's getting pulled on the ropes and stuff. So
can I ask something? Did that hurt? Because it looks very painful.
it does after certain ones after a few takes. That's why you have to make sure you nail it in one take, because some of them which you might have seen on the reel is called a dead man, like where you're running. Let's just say you're playing a zombie and you run and somebody shoots you with a shotgun and you go flying backwards. The jerk when they pull you back, if you don't land it properly, you can smash your head on the floor.
Seriously.
So you have to do it, and you'll feel as well it'll really wind you, because to get your posture properly, it will take your breath away.
See, I need to tell this to my director, because I've just done a film and they had me thrown in lakes and then dragged through things, and then they beat me up and battered me, so I need to tell Mr. Quinn exactly, I need training.
Well, could you be classed as a stuntman now?
No, I don't think so. No, because they nearly killed me. Yeah. So you've got all the training, and they just threw me into it.
But again, this is why it's important. I see a lot of production.
I loved it. Loved being thrown around.
I do see productions though that don't have stunt coordinators or fight coordinators, and it's so important. They're there for a reason to oversee the safety perspective, because there are dangers of elements that can happen, whether you're doing a simple fight and you get too close and you punch the person. You don't want that, because if someone's got a mark or a black eye, well, the whole continuity is gone.
Right.
Oh, I know all of this. I know exactly what you're saying. The contact lenses springing everywhere. I'm like, I'm going home. 1:30 in the morning. No. So what's next for you? I mean, have you got anything coming up at the moment?
So on the acting side of it.
So what have you got coming up at the moment? Anything happening at the moment?
Yeah, so on the acting side of it, as I was saying, it's really taken off. I've done some ITV dramas. I've done, like I said, Marvel films, doing stunts and things. So I've had a good range of stuff. And recently, it's just being actually uploaded as we speak today onto Amazon Prime. A new short film called Bluebird, which I've watched it a few times now. And I've got to say, it's probably my best piece so far.
Do you like watching yourself? That sounds Do you?
No.
No, neither do I.
Believe it or not, no, I never used to. But now I think I've got to a certain point where now I do enjoy it, because I think that mindset transitions again from being too much criticising yourself to, if I know the performance is good, I'm happy. So I think that's really what I'm looking for.
I think that comes down to like your own integrity as well, doesn't it? You can look at it and think, no, actually that's not right, and know when, because I'll do that all the time. I'll look at something and think, nah, I can change that, I can do that a little bit better. But I still cringe.
So that's due to go out very soon. So it should be publicly available.
Coming on Amazon Prime.
That's the plan.
Called what?
Bluebird.
Bluebird. There you go. Get yourself on Amazon Prime.
So hopefully that'll be a nice award-winning one as well. That should do very well as a short film. But then also I've got some stuff that I've actually been myself working on, because I'm getting more involved with the production side of things now. So I've started taking more producer type roles, because being a producer predominantly is just more about leadership skills. So if you're good at leading other people and inspiring them, again motivating, very similar to the whole book side of things, you can get things done. So basically we was on a Bollywood production last year, and there was a team of 4 of us that came out with an idea. Well, it was myself that came out with the idea with another friend called Mark Sears. He's another actor that I was working with, and we came out of an idea, and the film was called Gangster Jesus. So this is the biggest
Yeah.
This is the biggest one that we're writing at the moment that we've got huge ambitions for because we've been doing it for a year now. Like I said, we met last year on a film, came out with the idea. It was just something that was so crazy that while we was in the green rooms waiting in between takes, we were like bored. Right, let's just come out with an idea, started doing some improv, and then somebody called me Jesus or something like that.
Yeah.
And then this whole idea of it come out, and I really pushed it. I was like, look, we could make this into a film. This is not a joke. This is a genius idea. The comedy is brilliant. So
you're going to be Jesus.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes, yeah. So we're aiming to pitch it by the end of this year. We should have it completely finished at the end of the year.
Good.
We're looking to hopefully pitch it to Ricky Gervais.
Okay.
That's our plan. Because we've kind of tailored the script around him and his views and opinions of the world, how he thinks, because he's an atheist himself as well.
And hates everybody hurting the animals and everything.
And it's absolutely perfect for that because there's an environmental, global warming, impactful message to the story, which is why Jesus is sent back in time to save the world again.
Oh, wow.
So there's a very impactful message behind it, as well as the completely out there stupid comedy that makes it funny. We want him to play the villain within the role. So by the time this is aired on TV, I'm sure we'll be hopefully in negotiations and putting it to his agent to speak a little bit further and obviously make this a reality.
Good.
No, that sounds amazing. Brilliant. And what about the personal you? Obviously, away from it all, you're a family man, married? Yeah.
Yes, married.
So
I've got 2 kids from previous relationship, and then currently my wife, who I'm with now, is actually due, and she's having him on Wednesday. So,
stop it!
Yeah,
yes,
so 3 days time. Yeah, she's
Congratulations.
going in for a C-section on Wednesday, so he'll be with us in a few days time.
Lovely.
Yeah.
I don't gush often, but that's so
and they're
nice.
such a beautiful couple.
Really?
Yeah, beautiful couple. I saw your wedding pictures actually on your Insta. Yeah.
How long have you been married?
Lovely.
6 years now.
Well, you had to think then.
I had to think then. Yeah, what year are we? 2022. What year are we?
Yeah,
6 years.
And obviously you've got this. This is out. If anybody wants to get hold of this, obviously this is going across Australia as well. How can people get hold of your books? What's the best way?
The most common one is Amazon. Obviously in the UK we use things like Waterstones as well, so it's on Waterstones. Ryunkun is the other one, the old play.com. I can't remember what they changed it to now.
All right, okay.
Something beginning with an R, right? Ryunkun or Rukun TV, is it maybe?
No.
I always forget how to. I know it, but I always forget how it's spelled. But
I think
the more common one is Amazon because it's available on all different countries. So, like you said, you've got Australia, you've got the US, you've got the UK.
Is it just in book form? Have you got audio book?
No, it's on full audiobook. Ebook as well.
Your voice.
Yes, my voice.
Course.
Yes, I voice over for.
we were talking about this on another episode. We had another author on, and he hadn't done the audio. And Monique was like, "I'll get Reese to do it. He'll do the audio book." I was like, "Oh, okay, all right."
You got a good voice for it.
I've done a few. I did the talking prospectus for quite a few universities.
Okay.
So I did quite a few of those. Though. Yeah, that was quite fun. Long days though.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Oh, goodness me! I needed another shave at the end of it. And are you planning on writing any more? Is there anything else you want to?
So, like I said, I think the next one for me will really be the autobiography.
Okay.
Which won't be until, like I said, I'm more well known, because I think as an actor, if you're well known internationally, it certainly helps to sell things like your
Definitely.
book. Same with the public speaking. It's a lot of the reason why I stepped away from the public speaking, because to speak on the largest of stages with the most known people out there, they actually charge you to speak, which is quite backwards, because you'd think, well, hold on, I'm giving you all my time and energy, you should be paying me. But they want you to pay them. So it was I was getting confused, like, hold on, I've spent too much money here now as a speaker, I need to start earning more as a speaker. So it's easier, again, if you are well known, which is why you'll see a lot of celebrity people in the industry, like actors, you'll see them as well, sports people, that do very well on the public speaking side of things as well.
The politicians and former prime ministers, they're making a fortune. But so many people, starting out and going into I'll do the public speaking. I've got the voice for it, and I said, they're like, this is what you have to pay us to come on to our stage. Oh dear! But it sounds like you've got a lot of exciting things coming up. And you two going to work together again?
Yeah, we should do.
It'd be
Great.
good.
Yeah,
You've
You've got Mary Magdalene here, gangster. Stick her in.
I do want to play a gangster role, actually.
You keep saying that, don't you?
I actually do.
Yeah, she's been dreaming of that for such a long time.
As long as I can wear my heels.
That's good. Well, I've got a horror that we're working on as well at the moment. I've got a gentleman writing horror that we're looking to film out in Norway next year.
Okay.
Another friend actor of mine, he's got a location already sorted. It's one that's within the family, which is fantastic, and it's one of those. It's like a barn out in the middle of nowhere with a
Nice.
private lake in Norway,
Oh,
and
wow.
they've even
Yeah.
got old Viking gravestones. So we were like, this is perfect.
Sounds
Like, this is the
perfect.
perfect location. So we're doing a bit like, like Hostel,
Yes.
Saw,
Oh,
brutal murder type of film,
Yeah.
where they sort of go on an adventure, but the guy wants to sacrifice his friends to the gods because he really believes in the old pagan ways. So there's going to be a lot of like sacrificing and again limbs cutting off.
Oh, getting excited
People
over that
being
one.
killed.
Being a horror actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, that's one that, if we can't get additional funding, I'm going to be funding it myself
Right.
with my friend. He's
Yeah.
looking at doing it as well next summer. But again, we'll be looking, of course, the more funding you get, the more successful you can make it. Especially a film like that, special effects and CGI is a big thing.
You've got a bright future ahead of you, Shane. Well,
Thank you.
Just thank you for being here. Sitting there looking like Jesus.
It's been a pleasure.
Just incredible. Best
Thank
of
you
luck
both.
with everything.
me.
So, all of the details to get Shane's book and anything else that you want to speak to him about or send him messages about is all going to be on screen as well. Thanks for being here. We will see you again for another episode of Creatives on the Couch. Take care. Bye for now.